Hello! Welcome to episode 13 of my vanilla series, where last time I finished the Guardian farm and I made a few changes to it. First I moved the pistons over here, and yes, I know you can see me now, but that's fine. So this actually blocks them and it leaves the water source behind there intact, so when I open it up, they're fine. They're just fine. I also... Oh no, I removed my stairs. I also put a roof on it. I was watching the rest of Cupfan's video and he said, oh, if you add a roof, you get a higher spawn rate from the Guardian. So I did. I made sure, of course, that everywhere there's enough room to for them to drop. Now, you can also see I've taken out the temporary structure over there and I've cleaned up this island a lot. I took out the full top layer that wasn't sand and I filled it up with sand. So if you remember the beachfront property which I made where I also kept my horse and it had a lot of sand around it, well, as long as you remember, because the island doesn't, most of the sand, at least a few top few layers is gone. And I laid this out slightly differently. I put in some markers for myself for what I'll be working on this episode and the next. The first thing I want to do though is work on the transportation, because everything is still down below and I want it up here. Now, I'm gonna need a few things of redstone. I'm gonna need a piston. I need some of that. Okay. What I want is a dropper and 2 observers. I need to still get used to this sometimes. And a dropper. Now, and I should have some hoppers as well. Okay. Let's see, I'm gonna place a few blocks that are gonna be temporary right here. And the first thing I'm gonna do is place the dropper right all the way around. Well, this is fine as well. That means we're gonna take out this block. So the dropper will get items fed into it, but the dropper doesn't do anything unless it gets a redstone signal. So that's what this contraption is going to be for, is to give it a redstone signal. Now if you look at the debug information here in the right hand side, it says powered false because there's nothing in there. We drop some andesite in there, you can see it's powered true. Now unfortunately it doesn't show us a strength, but I'm pretty sure if I put a redstone signal behind it, it's a strength of 1 exactly. So there's 1 block in there. If I put more in there, the strength is going to go up. Strength is 4, right? But we don't care about the strength. As long as it's 1 or more, we're happy, right? So what then we're going to do is, if there's a signal, we're going to, let's take this out for a second, we're going to extend the piston here. And on top of the piston, we're going to place an observer. Now, observer is a relatively new block. And if there's any change here, there's going to be an update here, a redstone signal here. So for example, put a torch there, you saw it flash. If I take the torch out, you see it flash again. Any sort of block state update is going to trigger it. If you put 2 of them facing each other, they're going to constantly flash because they're constantly updating each other. That's exactly what we want. But we do want it conditionally. So I'm going to put 1 over here. I'm going to put 1 over there. So they're not facing each other. Right? Now, if there's an item in here, we're going to get a redstone signal here. The piston is going to extend and push the observer in front of the other one, creating the tick. So it spits out the blocks. Oh, I got it already. Yeah, let's put a few more in there. And you can see that as long as there's items, it extends, it gives a redstone pulse, it gives a nasty, annoying ticking noise. I'm afraid there is no easy way around it other than resource packs. And when it's empty, it retracts. So this is basically a standard dropper timer, dropper clock if you want. Well, it's not the dropper's not part of the clock, it's an observer clock for a dropper. And that is also exactly what I built downstairs. So I figured I'd show you first on the surface. It's just a lot easier to see there. But I did build the same thing down here. Observers, pistons, and a dropper here. The only difference is the dropper shoots into a water stream with a soul sand block. So the items are gonna float up. And you can see there's a lot of dirt right now. And actually I need to... That's gonna be quite tricky because... No, actually this needs to be sealed off. Right there, right there. Did I seal it off on the other side? Oh, I can't tell. And this is exactly why I showed you on the surface, because it's so cramped down here. Let's see. See, that's what I was afraid of. That's what I wanted to prevent. Okay. So that is fine, I think. Also, at least the water was contained in this area. The redstone is protected down there. I'm pretty sure I can take out the dirt and replace that with gravel. There's all glass behind here, so that's all going to be safe. So let's go outside. And oh yeah, I also I moved those up a block. That's it, really. I didn't do much otherwise. Okay, I slept. I made a bunch of trapdoors, which I will show you what they're used for in a moment. So let's head down. We should have the conduit power here and be fine. And hopefully I didn't mess anything up. And I should be able to take out the dirt here. Oh, actually I have another layer of dirt. Okay, that's great. Because then I can just take the gravel and put it on top of here. Okay. And here is my water column. So I'm gonna place gravel around it, but not on top. And I want to take out this block though. Okay. Did I bring a bucket? Yes, I did bring a bucket. I need to make sure that this is all source blocks. And actually, I think they may be, but no, they're not. Let's grab some water there. Because the particles should go all the way up, and that also means the dirt block should go all the way up. And it's not going. Ah, there it goes. Okay, now we have a column all the way to the top. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a sort of a pipe. A pipe made out of acacia trapdoors. I don't want to swim. Sometimes it's really, I don't know, it tries to force me into the swimming animation. So what I'm gonna do, if I can, without getting caught by the bubbles, is use shift and place trapdoors all the way to the surface on all four sides. They're really loud and obnoxious sounds from these guardians. Okay, so that's the top one for this side. I'm going to do the same on all four sides, but then I'm going to open them. For some reason, I just can't keep just pressing it. I need to stop holding shift. And there we go. And that looks like, sort of like a pipe, especially if you do it on all four sides. Pro tip, make enough trapdoors. I went back and made a bunch more. Another pro tip is use an empty hand instead of holding a torch, because of course if you shift right click with a torch, it's gonna try and place it. But this is kinda what I meant. It looks sort of like a pipe. It's gonna contain the blocks that are coming from downstairs, and we're gonna propel them upwards. Now I'm gonna need to extend this up to my level 73. Come on, can I? Yes, thank you very much. So, And it needs to be source block. So I'm gonna alternate between dirt and ice until I reach Y73. Right. And this is where it's gonna go, probably go left first and then towards the island. That means I need one more block that I didn't bring. Okay, so the last block here is actually going to be slightly different. So I'm going to go down a bit because this is going to flow in that direction. That means I need to have some solid block here. Then I can place this right like that. I could use some scaffolding blocks here like this. Okay. So for now I'm gonna do it like this so you get an idea of what I'm planning. Want you. I should be able to place you, come on. Yeah, that's what I was afraid. Oh no, it's placed it the right way. Okay, I was afraid it would place it the wrong way up, but it didn't. Okay, so now let's take out the dirt and also take out this dirt. Actually, I need to go down a bit more, take out all the dirt. And then we can start breaking the ice and creating water source blocks with my non-silky pickaxe. Right? That should have created a water source block. Why didn't it? It's something that's quite hard to maneuver on these blocks. But yeah, that's, I was gonna say that should form water. Maybe it won't. Maybe I need to place. No, not you. Source blocks everywhere. Okay, so just 3 blocks remaining. Just 1 block remaining. And the bubble should now go all the way up to the top. Right? I don't need that one anymore. Really? I need a bigger hotbar. Mojang, get to it. Okay, so now the water flows out of here. And yeah, if I extend this out, it should flow even better. But let's first get rid of this scaffolding. And for now this is fine, because you know I still need to build the whole other end. So here I'm gonna, oh by the way, these hoppers are just gonna pipe the items from there through the dropper. They don't have any other purpose. They don't need to collect from above. And if you leave them open or with stone or something, they're gonna try and collect items that are above it. I think the lag-free, whatever you want to describe that, the one with least lag is the composter, because it's gonna try and pull out over the composter, but the composter only holds, if it has anything, bone meal, and therefore it's less laggy than say a dropper, which can have 9 inventory slots. Anyway, that's something I recently learned is reduced lag. So if I'm putting sand in here, yes, that's the only problem, is that if the items come in too slow, then it's gonna keep up pushing with the piston, and I've not yet found a way to reduce that. Other than that, they should be like this, and we should be seeing them coming outside and floating on the surface. Yes, there they are. Right. Did all of them come out here, or are they stuck in the pipe? They must have gone through the pipe. It can't be anything else, right? Let's try throwing an item into the pipe. No, into the pipe. that goes up. So all my dirt should also be up there. Come on. Interesting. Okay, well, I debug some more of this. First, I need to extend in that direction to Z1820, which is, I can't remember, 1837, so 17 blocks. So it also means I need somewhere in between, I need to extend the water flow. And I will show you how I plan to do that when I get there. Oh, there they are. They flew out further than I thought. This is the design I came up with. I think the Nether Break looks really good with the acacia wood. So at the end of the water stream, I placed a block of ice that allows the items to flow through a bit further. I'm then going to place a sign there to make sure water doesn't flow back. Now I need to place a water source block here, and the problem is, of course, that this is a stair, and stairs nowadays can be waterlogged. So if you right click the stair with the water block, it's actually going to flow from the stair down instead of out right here. So it's going to come all the way over here, and I need to do the same thing. And it's actually not bad. This is exactly where I wanted to go. So I'm going to put another ice block here. I'm going to put another of those nether brick structures around here, a water block here, making the water flow in that direction. So yeah, this is how I'm going to get the islands towards, the items towards the island. And I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to show you where the items are going to end up at the island. These wandering traders are so dumb. I can't believe that their AI is so, I don't know who wrote that. Somebody just starting. I don't know. They should remove them from the pack, I think, from Minecraft. They don't add anything, really. They don't have any good trades ever. Yeah. Anyway, the pipe is done up to here. The design of the pipes, by the way, with the acacia trapdoors is something I picked up from Xisuma on Hermitcraft. I'll put in a link to his channel. I can't really give you an episode because he uses multiple episodes of Hermitcraft Season 6 to extend his piping network. But yeah, that's where I got the idea, and then I kind of thought that the netherrack looked pretty good with that in this configuration. Now, this is vanilla, but I am running with fabric, and I have added some mods to it. One of them is Schematica. And Schematica is going to help me build this next section. Yeah, I've also got World Edit, which I won't be using, but I did use that to create something in a test world. And then I use Schematica to load that. So I'm going to use that to build. And then I'm also going to use Replay mod. I for one am happy that replay mod is back in my life, and I hope you are too. I think it's, you know, fast forward and first person view is just, it's just annoying to watch. Yeah, this is the third Guardian model I built. The first one I took the image of the wiki for their face, and the first one I built, I think it was 1 block for 1 pixel, and it was way too small. And then I made one that was 3 blocks for 1 pixel, which was way too big. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, it's a bit like Goldilocks. So I think I found a size that's good. It still needs a tail, which I haven't actually done for this scale. So yeah, I'll do that probably in between episodes. I need to first get that into my creative world. And then here I did a floor. Let me sleep for a moment. Just, you know, phantoms and whatnot when I run outside. I still need to move the portal. I need to find a nice place for it. Probably it's gonna be in this wall or that wall. This one is of course closest to the original spawn of the portal. I made a second floor with fences because I plan to use this floor for villagers. I want to have beds here, I want to have lecterns, I want to have brewing stands so that I can get the librarians as well as the clerics. The reason being is that I'm going to have mob drops in here from the Guardian farm and from a mob farm that I'm going to build probably the next episode because it's also a rather big project. And then I can use the villagers to trade things like rotten flesh and raw fish. So, but that's going to be for later. I think I need to find a new village. In 1.14.3, which is the version I'm on right now, they actually improved the stock that a villager can have, and therefore you can do more trades before it locks. But that means you need to find a village that's just regenerated or just generated for 1.14.3. So I think most of you will know the item sorting system from now I'm confused. I think it was Ilmango. I'll look it up. It's a very common system, and I actually learned quite a lot watching a lot of videos in the past week. So remember when I was talking about my fishing farm and I said, oh yeah, it pushes down and then it pushes out. No, it doesn't. It doesn't actually push down, but this hopper pulls from above. This hopper pulls out of this hopper before it has a chance to push. In the order of things and stuff that Minecraft does, the pulling of a hopper is done before the pushing of a hopper. So if there's items in here and this one can pull, it will pull. And the item will be gone before it can start pushing. If the item cannot be pulled because this one is full, for example, this one will push it. So that's how this this is how the cascading hoppers work. Now, the sorting system that most people know, and I need to make sure I'm doing this right. So there's going to be a block there and there and there and there, right? I think I'm doing this right. Let me see. So, and I'm also going to try and explain it as much as I know. Right, so this is going to have a comparator. And the comparator is going to give a signal of 1 or 0 or 1 or more if there's items in this hopper. So if there aren't items in the hopper, and let me see. If this is well, let's first put it down and then I try and understand. So if there's items there, and then I need another block here. Okay, like that. So I also need to have a torch. Now the torch here is going to be on initially because there are no nothing is turning off the signal, and this is locking the hopper, and I think it's locking both of these. This one is being locked indirectly. I can test this, of course. Can I? Yes, I can test this. If I drop a stack in here, nothing's going to happen. So this one is not pulling it out because it's locked. This one is not pushing them out because it's locked. Right. Now, we're going to add a repeater here to give a strong signal into there. That will only occur when there's an item in here. So let me just for a moment lock this hopper. I like scaffolding, but you can't shift place something. That's the downside. Okay, so if there's an item in here, you can see this now has a signal, and actually now this is too weak because this is a signal of 1, this is 0. We're gonna need a few more items in here to get a signal strength. Actually, you're gonna need, oh, that's not what I wanted. A bunch more in here to get a signal strength of 3, which gives it a 2 here, which gives it a 1 here, which powers this repeater, which turns off this torch, which unlocks the hoppers. So now the items can flow from here down, but only if there's enough items in here. Yes, that's it. Now, that's pretty important to realize that we need to have a certain amount of items in here, right? Now, let me gather some items. So the items I needed are an anvil and some blocks from my farm. Now what I'm gonna do is, let's do 3 times 4 is 12. 12 sticks that we're gonna name like this. Right, so what's gonna happen, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill part of the hopper with sticks. And because the hoppers are locked, nothing's going to be pulled out. Right, now, as soon as the signal gets strong enough, being a signal of strength 3, which currently is still 1, it will unlock. So if I put, say, 32 raw cotton here, signal strength is only 2. It's still not 3. Okay, let's do 40. The signal strength is still 2. 41. Signal strength is still 2. But now watch if I do 42. Hey, it's pulled out. Because I can actually lock this one again. If I can get up here, so then you can see it more clearly. With this 42 fish in here and 4 sticks, we have a signal strength of 3. And that unlocks the hopper, and that actually pulls the fish out and pulls the fish down and goes into here. Yeah. So if I take this out, all of the fish coming into this hopper are going to fill up the items in the first slot, and to be higher than 41, give a signal strength of 3 and higher, and it will pull them out until there's only 41 left and power runs down back to 2, locking all the hoppers. So basically that's it. This 3 block is only necessary to make sure that we have a high signal strength, right? We don't want to do this with a signal strength of 2, although not sure if you don't, but I'm not going to mess with this one too much. I know this is how it works, right? And you can see that the raw cod ends up in this stream. Anything else cannot go into the hopper. So, sorry, let's rewind a little bit, grab a few more of the raw cod back. So what happens is there's going to be the water stream from outside coming over these hoppers, and a fish that falls in here will fall into the slot, into the hopper, and pulled in and sucked down into the chest. Anything else cannot fit in the hopper, right? The hopper only has room for either the cod or a stick with a name of 5 hyphens. this one would fit in, this one wouldn't. Sorry, nothing else would. If I drop in redstone block, it's gonna just sit there because the hopper can't take it out. If I drop in a prismarine shard or prismarine crystal, nothing's gonna happen because the hopper can't pick it up. It can only pick up rock cod or sticks. If I didn't have the sticks in here, at some point, if I had too much rock cod or other items, they would come in here, and we don't want that. So this is the way that these item filters work. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other two chests right here. And partially, well, the third one isn't going to filter. The first one, the last one, sorry, first from the left, the last one from the row, from the water stream, is not going to have one. It's just not going to have a filter. It's just going to be receiving the overflow items. So anything that is not picked up by these hoppers is going into the last sack, and that's going to be miscellaneous. So we get the raw cod, we get the crystals, we get the shard, and then we get the last chest which has well, possibly the salmon, the tropical fish, the puffer fish. We might get the odd ink sac. Basically, I don't want separate chests for that. That's all going to come into this last row because it's not filtered, and that's where the water flow will end. So let me continue setting this up, and then we'll be right back. And with this connected, that means all of them are now connected, and I'm missing one piece of wall here. Yay! It's all done, it's all done. And I really love the scaffolding. That's such a great block, such a helpful block in Minecraft 1.14. You know, all of that. And yes, I know I used dirt because that was mostly in the water. But it's cool, you can easily build sideways. I need to fill up that sand. But anyway, all of the items should now be sorting into their respective chests. I also remember why the amount in the hopper is such that we need a signal strength of 3. And the reason is that if you rely on a signal strength of 2, you could also get that one from the neighbor if their output is strong enough, because they're all connected together. This one will go into here. However, if this is a 3, this is still only 2, 1, that one remains 0. So you're pretty safe here. If you rely on 2, that's going to be quite dangerous. So I'm pretty sure at least that is the reason why we go for the signal strength of 3 and then decay it here to become just 1 for this. I also put in more torches to take out the redstone updates. And finally, all of the hoppers are now prepped. This one has 4 sticks and a rock cut, 4 sticks and a prismarine shard, 4 sticks and a prismarine crystals. So if I jump on here and I throw the crystals that I have and the shards that I have, and actually I can throw in some other junk, fine, all go in here, everything eventually will sort, and these of course will now have 41 items. This will have shards, this will have crystals, and this will have the rest of the junk. Right, and none of this is locked because this one is not actually filtering. Alright, so that is one half done. The other half I will do when I have the mob farm, and then I'll also move them. I'm gonna move the portal in between. I'll fill this up and decorate it a bit nicer in between as well. And I need to go home and get some item frames or leather so that I can mark what these chests are holding. So yeah, quite a long episode, and it took me literally days to build this, and I'm probably gonna need another day to make the tail because it's quite tricky. When I have the tail bend sideways, you can actually see it. Or maybe I'll do the mob farm first and then see how the tail fits, because the mob farm is going to be those 4 squares and these blocks. mysterious, huh? Although this may give away some information of it. Anyway, that is going to be probably another replay build. And then in the future we're going to try and get villagers in here for trading. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you also like that I'm explaining these signals. I know many of you probably already know how redstone contraptions work, but for example, I just only recently learned that it's not pushing down, it's just the pulling is done before the pushing. And then I was talking to someone in Discord and I said, oh wow, I never knew that. No, exactly. Because most of these instruction videos don't instruct, they just give you blueprints. So let me know if you'd like to see more of that. Oh, I almost forgot. I was watching YDYT's video this morning and she explained a different method for the hopper clock. Hey, we have a dolphin. This is basically doing the same thing. So if there's a signal strength of 1, this turns on and that turns on this one and that gives the signal here. It also gives the signal here, which is going to be 15, 14, 13. The comparator gets a 1 and the 13 is going to ignore the 1 and say no signal because it's not higher than the comparator. So that's how the comparator works, right? It compares that the input value is higher than the size value. This is 0. If this is 1, it's going to give a pulse. This then becomes 13. This is no longer giving a pulse because the 1 is not higher than 13. So this turns off. So this starts turning on and off. And the same signal goes into there to feed the clock. So basically, and I know some people have tools. Logical Geek Boy, I think his name is, and Methods. They have a series together explaining a lot of redstone, and one of the things is they show, with a tick delay, they show like 1 tick in every second or so. You can actually see the signal decaying in the signal strength, which is pretty cool. But this is how it works. It gets a 1, it compares to 0, it gives you a 1, turns into a 15, and gives a signal to the dropper. It also gives a signal here to the comparator, so the 1 is now compared to 13, and it's no, I'll turn you off. This is turned off, this is turned off, and this is now 0. The 1 is compared to 0, it gives a signal, etc., 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 as long as there are items in here. And it doesn't have the annoying feature of an up and down bobbing piston. It also allows for a few more entries for hoppers, and I need one pointing down for the mob farm, so I could technically do 3 hoppers into it, because of course this one will be locked and this side will be locked if we put hoppers there. So I changed it below, and thanks to YDYT for showing that in her video. Yeah, I really like learning about this stuff, and I hope you do too. So let me know what you think. And also, if you did like the video, please click the like button and hit the subscribe and notification bell if you haven't done so already, so you will be notified when the next video comes out. So thank you very much for watching and take care. Bye bye.